Welcome y'all to Robin on the Farm. Today I'm sharing with you a really healthy, wholesome, and delicious bread that's a no knead, no rise, no yeast bread that's made with Greek yogurt, oats, and fresh milled flour. This is kind of a quick bread or a batter bread, and it is delicious and so easy and fast to make. Now, don't worry, if you don't have any fresh milled flour, you can definitely just use some whole wheat flour from the store. You can even just use some all-purpose flour. So definitely give this recipe a try because it is absolutely delicious and it's so fast and easy to make. So let's just get started on the recipe. I'm gonna start with my Greek yogurt. This is just some store brand, non-fat Greek plain yogurt, but you can also use full fat, low fat, whatever you wanna use. It works well that way, but the main thing is that it's Greek yogurt. You definitely want Greek yogurt. So just go ahead and put that in your big mixing bowl. We don't need a stand mixer or anything like that today because this is a no-knead bread. So we're just gonna put all of our ingredients in our mixing bowl, mix it up, and throw it in the oven to bake. I love recipes like this. Next, we want 2 eggs. I'm gonna use 2 large eggs. Just put them right on into your mixing bowl. And next we want some honey. Now you can use honey or maple syrup. Either one works great in this recipe. I like it both ways. But I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup of honey today. So just put that right on in there with everything else. I sprayed this little container. Helps your honey come out a lot easier and not stick to your little cup. So definitely spray that or oil it up or butter it up. And our next ingredient is vanilla. So I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of this pure vanilla extract. This bread is gonna taste fantastic. Just put that right on into your bowl with everything else. And next we want some oats. I'm gonna use these quick oats, but you can also use old-fashioned oats. I'm gonna use 1 1/4 cups of these quick oats, but if you have old-fashioned oats, use 1 1/2 cups. We go through a lot of oats in this home, so I buy them in these big, huge buckets, store them in my pantry, and we go through them. And really, I mainly use these for cookies and bread. So 1 1/4 cups if you're using quick oats. After the oats, you want some fresh milled flour. Now I'm gonna use 2/3 of a cup of hard winter white wheat, and I'm gonna use 1/3 cup of fresh milled Einkhorn flour. I milled up a little bit of extra this morning when I was feeding my sourdough starter, so I knew I was gonna make this bread, so I milled up just a little bit extra. So you want to use 1 cup in total of fresh milled flour, any combination that you want. I really like it with the hard winter white wheat and this Einkorn. That works really well. So go ahead and put that right on into your bowl. I use my Nutri-Milk Classic wheat grinder to grind up my fresh milled flour. I've had this for at least 20 years and I use it all the time. I've never had any problems with it. It is a great wheat grinder. All right, after your fresh milled flour, we're gonna use some baking soda. So you want 1 teaspoon of baking soda in your mixing bowl. Now this is a no yeast bread recipe, so the baking soda is what is going to leaven our bread. Now we want some salt. I'm gonna use a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now you can use any kind of salt that you want. I really like this Redmond's real salt, so that's what I'm gonna use. Pour it not over your mixing bowl so that you don't over pour and ruin all of your other ingredients. 1/2 teaspoon of salt right on in there. And our very last ingredient is some cinnamon. So you can tell that this bread is gonna taste really good. It has vanilla in it, cinnamon, oats. Oh, it's gonna be so good. So you want a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon just right on in there with everything else. Now it's time to mix up all of our ingredients. I'm gonna use my cool little Danish dough whisk just to mix up my ingredients really well. Now you don't wanna over mix this dough, you just wanna kind of get it all incorporated together. And this is a no knead dough, so that is all it's gonna take. This is definitely gonna be a very wet, sticky, batter-like dough. I wanted to be sure that you could see the texture and the consistency of this batter. It's definitely very, very wet and sticky, and that's exactly what you want it to be like. So this looks great. And let me just tell you, it smells great. It smells like an oatmeal cookie. Oh, it smells so good. Now it's time to put this batter into the loaf pan. Now, if you watch my channel, you know how much I love and adore my cast iron loaf pans. These are fantastic. They don't have any of those chemical coatings to get into our foods. I pour about a tablespoon of olive oil into my loaf pans and just rub it all around with a paper towel. and it is ready. The bread will not stick to this loaf pan at all. But you can use any loaf pan that you have. This is an 8.5 by 4.5 inch size loaf pan. You can go up to a 9 by 5, but this is gonna be a really small loaf. It's just a nice small snacking loaf. Down in the recipe, I will leave the recipe for a little bit bigger loaf if you want a bigger loaf, but I like this size because I like to just grab a little piece of this bread and snack on it. So this is a nice small loaf for that. Oh my goodness, this smells so good with those oats and the cinnamon and the vanilla and the honey. Oh my gosh, it smells like a cookie. It smells really, really good. Now, once you have your batter in your loaf pan, just smooth it out a little bit, make sure it fills the edges, and that's all there is to it. This is gonna be so, so good. Like I said, it smells like an oatmeal cookie or even some of that really yummy overnight oats. Oh, just smells so good and so healthy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven. This is gonna bake at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Our fresh milled flour, Greek yogurt, and oat bread is fresh out of the oven. It baked for 25 minutes and it looks perfect. Now, I like to get my breads out of the loaf pan immediately so that they don't get soggy or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it out from the loaf pan. Oh, it came out really nicely since we oiled up the cast iron so well. All right, let's check out this loaf of bread. This looks delicious. And I wish that you could smell it because it smells so good. The oats, the cinnamon, the vanilla, the honey, it just really smells fantastic. So this is a bread that I'm gonna go ahead and cut right on into, nice and warm. Let's check out the inside of this bread. Look at that. It's soft, it's moist. That looks absolutely perfect. All right, I'm gonna take a little bite of this piece because I really like the heel. This is one of those breads that when I eat it, it actually makes me feel better and healthier. And that's just because of the fresh milled flour, the oats, the protein from the Greek yogurt. And when you combine that with the vanilla, the cinnamon, the honey, oh, you are in for a real treat. And for this to be a no knead, no rise, no yeast bread, it is a fresh milled flour batter bread. Oh, this is such a good recipe. You've got to try it. Now that I've let this bread cool off just a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and store it in one of my beeswax bread bags. I'm just gonna keep it on the counter just like this so we can grab it out and eat it. This is a great alternative to plastic bags. It's naturally antibacterial, eco-friendly, sustainable. These will be on my website along with the printable recipe for this yummy fresh milled flour quick bread. Thanks so much for being here with me on Robin on the Farm. I'll see you next time.
Robin's in the kitchen, dough beneath her hands, wheat from the fields and eggs from her land. Sunlight through the window, a warm golden glow. She's working hard to make that dough. With flour on her apron, loving each knead, ground wheat fresh, so